Happy summer solstice. I think you'll be seeing this a couple days afterwards, but it's still the beginning of the season, so it's fine. So today I wanted to talk about what the summer solstice means to me this year. As we have discussed plenty of times on the channel, I love to analyze what the season means to me and not necessarily what the books tell you it should be, because a lot of times they're so centered on the agricultural cycles of a country that I've never even been to that don't apply to here. And I also don't love the idea of the Wiccan wheel where it's just about the fertility of a woman's body, basically. That's just never really sat well. Like, it's not something I really connect to. I think the seasons have far more that we could focus on than gardening and if you can become pregnant. And so because of that, I always try to analyze them, and also even just putting them as like your life cycles. Things happen in different orders for everybody. Not everybody gets married and then has a kid. Sometimes the kid comes first and then they get married, and like some people never have kids. And so the idea that the wheel always just fits around like a specific little story, I just never have loved. So I always try to analyze, even if it doesn't go in order for things, just what works for me. And this year I'm looking at the summer solstice far different than I think I ever really have, but I really love it. So this year, the big thing that I am focusing on for the summer solstice is basically what was summer my whole life. And the reality is that it's not everything is fruitful and the height of your career basically in your life, and like being pregnant and being married and like all of these things. That's not ever what summer represented to me. Summer has been, and always I think will be, kind of this sign of freedom. And when I think about what I want this season to represent, that's what I want it to be. This is the season of fun, excitement, joy, just no responsibilities as much as you can as an adult. And it's the time of vacations, hanging out with people outside, and like just basically like letting your inner child come out to play. Because we really don't a lot of times as adults. A lot of times we just kind of stuff the inner child away, and it's like, oh well, you can have like a stuffy on your bed and that's about it. And even that, a lot of people don't do. And you don't really let that inner child come out to play. And I feel like the summer solstice is that time to let your inner child come out. And it's gonna look different than how you were as an actual child for a lot of us. And that's okay. Because for me, what would be exciting nowadays is like summer solstice would be a great time to do like a road trip. As a child, I didn't like road trips that much because it was boring sitting in the car, but as the driver, it's exciting because I get to see a lot of the world, and I love driving and just listening to some tunes and stuff. And when I was a kid, we would always go camping, and nowadays I'm not like the greatest fan of like camping. I love glamping. And I also am like, well, you know, like the brain kicks in as an adult of like, but there's snakes and spiders and blah. And as a kid, didn't really faze me. And so it's just like making it much more into the real life now, not necessarily trying to relive times that I can't go back to. But it's just this like emphasis of putting your entire focus throughout this season, like a lot of people do for Beltane, where it's all about relationships and sex and all of this. And like most of Pride Month falls into the category of Beltane, so that kind of makes sense. And so for the summer solstice, this is just all about having fun. Not necessarily going and partying and getting drunk and getting high and sleeping with whoever. More like, for me, it's more of like an innocent fun of like, you go play with your dog in the yard, go swimming. Have you gone for a hike anytime recently? Like, when was the last time you went, and not just from the store, like you went out and bought like a legit ice cream cone? When was the last time you did that kind of a thing? And just like going and having fun and making yourself focus on having fun and just letting that inner child exist and remembering how exciting and restful summer could be like when you were a kid. Because as an adult, it is really hard. And honestly, that was like the biggest thing that I hated when I've worked other jobs, is summer never meant anything. Like, there was no big break that you would have in the summertime. In fact, most of the jobs I worked at got busier in the summer. Like, the solstice seasons, both of them were really, really, really busy. And now, being a full-time author and, like, you know, creator of sorts, this is the first summer that I can actually really appreciate. Because last year was a little chaotic. I was planning a wedding and wasn't planning on doing this full-time. And so this year it's like an active decision, like, no, I'm gonna have fun. It's going to be an exciting time. It's gonna be a time to, again, work on that inner child, find the joy in the little things, and just like enjoy being alive. For example, like at Samhain, where we focus so heavily on death imagery, this is the opposite. This is the time to focus on like, you are alive. The point of life is to enjoy it. Because you only really got the one chance with the circumstances that you got this round. Again, if you don't believe in reincarnation, you only got the one chance. So whether you believe you have multiple chances or just the one, regardless, you're never going to do the exact same situations and the exact same people in this lifetime ever again. So you might as well enjoy it. And truly, like, I feel like that's the point of being alive, is like just to enjoy and experience things. And so this season is all about doing that exact thing with fun. And again, that's gonna look like different things. That's gonna be barbecues and going swimming and going up to the mountains and just taking time to just enjoy and to really recharge. I know that seems kind of strange, like a lot of times you would hibernate in the winter, but to me it's more of like, you have the abundance around you, you can let your guard down a little bit and just soak up that sun, recharge your batteries for the winter time when it's depressing, it's cold, it's dark. There's no green anywhere. It's the only thing you got is the evergreen that's slowly dying in your living room. And right now, if you go outside, it's green. We've had so much rain this year, everything is green. It hasn't turned brown yet, which is like weird because normally, like about this time of the year, it's getting pretty toasty and hot, and we haven't had that. It's still been cold, all things considered. Like, this morning when I was having my tea, it was like 60 degrees outside. To give you context, normally June is when we're hitting 80s and 90s. Last year was ridiculously hot for June. We also have something going on upstairs with the dog barking. So anyways, that is just kind of my focus for this year. As it's starting to warm up, just going and soaking up the sun, just hanging out, and again, just having fun. That's like the biggest emphasis for this season, and letting that inner child come out, and not, like, it's not that I'm not working, because I still am. Like, I'm still working on getting the one book done for this last little bit of June, and then July is, I'm going to be working on a fiction book again, which is going to be so much nicer, but I'm still going to be working all the time. Monday through Friday is my kind of goal. And then, of course, sometimes my videos move into the weekend a bit too, and I'm reading all the time. But for the most part, my work week is Monday through Friday now. And it's just, I don't know, I want to just enjoy life. And I remember every year that it's like, well, I just want to be able to go and enjoy the seasons. I want to be able to have summer again. And like, even though I'm working this summer, and I probably will for the foreseeable future, my work is a lot better because like sitting down for like a few hours, especially if I do it first thing in the morning, that's like my best time to write before the sun comes up, because my husband goes to work really early. And so I have hours before the sunrise. And so if I take that time to get my writing done, I have the rest of the day to do whatever. Most of the time that looks like going outside, sitting on my swing, and reading a book, and it is like my dream job. That's what I visualized for years, because there is nothing like sitting outside in a comfy spot with a summer breeze and the sun and the greenery everywhere, just existing, and like the smell of lawns being mowed pretty much every day because nobody does it on the same day, and like, you know, just all of the joy that is summer, sitting there drinking some tea and reading a book for the majority of my day. That is what I have wanted for like ever. Like every single time I've ever looked back, that is what I wanted. And that's what I'm actually able to do this summer. And I'm so excited. I have so many books that I'm planning to read anyways. And like to be able to just go sit outside and do that, to me that is still like my modern way of having fun. Cause like if I'm gonna have to work, I might as well be able to enjoy it. And sitting outside in the summer is like kind of enjoying it. And again, being able to like go and have a campfire because now I can do whatever I want. Like the schedules kind of line up a little bit, far better than they used to. And I'm not so exhausted all the time that now it's like, well, we could do a campfire on this day, and if I wanted to, I could just do it on this day and be a little tired and take a nap the next day. Like, I just have so much more freedom. And of course, being in the US, like having that independence and freedom, like, oh my god, the 4th of July. And for Utah, 24th of July, because that's our state day. I don't know what you would call it, the state birthday thing. But July is full of a lot of events and, you know, freedom and blah, 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 whatever. But I don't usually do a whole lot for the 4th of July. I don't really like fireworks or anything. But I do like barbecues and things like that. That is pretty fun. And then of course, right in the mix of it, I get to have my birthday, which is always exciting. Everybody loves their birthdays. And if you don't, you should, because it means you lived a whole other year. And so I'm very excited for that coming up too. But I feel like that's also still a part of it, because it's like, some people say it's childish to still want to celebrate your birthday as you get older. And like, it's almost like this rite of passage as an adult to be like, ugh, it's my birthday. I'm old. And meanwhile, I'm just as excited about my birthday as I was as a kid. Because it's like, cool, I made it a whole other year, and now I get to be this age. I've never been this age before. What is this age gonna look like for me? Like, every single year has been different. I love getting to experience them. It's fun. It's a good thing. And so I'm excited for that. And like, I feel like that just kind of fits in very well for me for this season. But yeah, I would love to hear what your focus is for the summer solstice. And like, I don't really, like, I guess I kind of have an element tied to it, because like fire and like the sun, but I don't know what you would put for the moon. And like, it wouldn't fit perfectly in a little box either. I guess maybe you would have like the moon be for like the equinoxes and like the, well, I guess that would work. Because you could put the moon for like Mabon and Samhain, and for Ostara and Beltane. And then you could do, because like, if you fit the moon into 4, that would be like, Ostara would be like the waxing, Beltane would be the full moon, Mabon would be the waning moon, and Samhain would be the new moon. And I think there is a new moon around Samhain this year. Anyways, and then the summer with the sun being for the solstice in bulk, where it's like, oh my god, it's starting to get bright, little bit. And then obviously here, summer, full height, everything's great, wonderful. I love the sun. I'm a child of the sun. I know my sign is connected to the moon, but I call bull. Like, me and my husband are so opposites. Like, I love the sun. He loves the moon. He's a moon child. I am a sun child. I am awake when the sun is awake. If the sun is down, I'm down. Him, on the other hand, he's all about the moon. If he could be a night owl, he would love it. He doesn't like to go outside in the daytime. He likes to be out at night. So it's like, it's just polar opposites, because he's a Leo, so he's supposed to love the sun. He is supposed to be the sun. Maybe that's how it worked out, but either way, I love the idea of having the sun and the moon having like their own things, because then you also have like the seasons associated to the elements. But anyways, moral of the story, big emphasis is on the sun right now. And if I put an element, it would be fire. 'Tis the season of fire. Because also, during the 4th of July, a lot of people like to catch a mountain on fire because they do fireworks where they're not supposed to. Because they're stupid. You know, dry, desert, mountain, let's have a lot of fireworks. That's a great idea. And campfires and things that people are dumb and don't know how to handle. But, I mean, we haven't had any really yet, so hopefully it stays that way. Because I don't love the walk outside and you're just blasted with smoke every day, pretty much the entire summer. So hopefully we don't have that during this season, but it's inevitable. It's probably gonna happen. Anyways, that is enough rambling. I would love to hear what your like take for the summer solstice is this year. Does yours change over time? Have you stuck with the same thing all these years? Curious. Tell me in the comments down below. Huge thank you to my patrons. I'll have their names here on the screen. If you'd like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like and subscribe. I post every single day. Also, make sure to check out my blog. That is where you can find all of my content because I post everywhere. And you can also find links to my books. I know they can sometimes be difficult to find because I don't pay for promotions and such. So if you want to find easy access to my books and their links, it is on my blog. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.